Get your aprons on because today we're gonna be in the kitchen whipping up some yummy budget and family-friendly Great Depression recipes. And you're gonna wanna save room for dessert because this recipe I'm gonna show you is so good. Aprons on, let's go. First, I'm gonna make some popovers. Then we're gonna top it with this yummy creamy chicken. So have your oven preheated to 450 degrees, and we're going to beat 2 eggs. To my mixer, we're going to add 1 cup of flour and 1/4 cup of salt. 1/4 cup of salt, yikes. 1/4 teaspoon of salt, and half of the milk that the recipe calls for, which is 3/4 cup plus 2 tablespoons, which is 7/8 of a cup. So we're gonna do half of this, and we're gonna beat until smooth. Then we're gonna add the well-beaten eggs. You're going to need 1/2 teaspoon of fat, and I'm using shortening. And then the rest of the milk. Mix this up. Okay, you're gonna grease up your tin. It doesn't say how many this makes. I'm just gonna use a regular muffin tin. So I'm just using some shortening, using a sandwich baggie to help me out here. But I wanna spread them out so they don't crowd each other when they pop up. We wanna get them filled like halfway and try to get them as even as possible. This recipe says 450 degrees for 35 minutes. I'd like to thank MaryRuth for sponsoring this portion of today's video. I take several of MaryRuth's supplements, and they have been part of my health journey for a year now. They have over 130 products that you can choose from. MaryRuth's makes high quality, vegan, non-GMO supplements, and most of their products are certified organic too. MaryRuth was founded in 2014 by MaryRuth. She was inspired to help others live a healthier life after she lost her father and brother to heart conditions. So over the past year, I have lost some weight and I have dealt with some hair loss. So I went searching online for some supplements that would help me out. Mainly, I was looking for a multivitamin that would do everything for me. And this is when I went online and found MaryRuth's Liquid Morning Multivitamin. It's vegan, non-GMO, gluten-free, sugar-free, and it has a yummy raspberry flavor. I love that it's in liquid form and I don't have to swallow any hard pills. It's packed with minerals, amino acids, multiple essential vitamins, including antioxidant vitamins C, D, E, and beta carotene. I love that it has vitamin D3 in there. And this is the vitamin that your body naturally produces when exposed to sunlight. With it packed with all these B vitamins, my energy levels have been so good. I can get through the day, get things done. Like I said, I've been taking it for a year now and I feel so good. But I truly have to say, with all the multivitamins that I've tried, this has been the best one. So I stored it in my refrigerator along with all my other supplements. What I like about MaryRuth is that they had so many options: pill, gummy, and in liquid form. Most of MaryRuth's products can be used by the entire family. So I do have a little issue with my gut, and MaryRuth's organic liquid probiotic has been heaven sent. They have it in flavored and unflavored. I have the unflavored. I could take it with food or not with food. It mixes so easily into your water, your juice, your shakes. It comes in a 4-ounce bottle or a 2-ounce bottle that's really perfect for traveling. It's formulated to help support a healthy microbiome and digestive tract with a blend of 12 probiotic strains. This has helped me so much with my gut. And they have a probiotic formula made for kids as well. They have a lot to choose from in liquid form, and I have 2 others that I use. Organic pumpkin seed oil liquid drops. Also organic vitamin C liquid drops. And the flavor is a yummy orange vanilla. These help support your immune system and your overall health and wellness. You could take this by simply adding some drops into your mouth, add it to a glass of water, or add it to your favorite morning juice or smoothie. I have been so happy with them, and taking them has become such a natural thing in my morning routine. Also, when you use my code MRO her apron, you'll receive 20% off MaryRuth's products both on their website and on Amazon. But the key is to make sure that on Amazon that it isn't being sold by some third-party seller and that it's being sold by MaryRuth's Organic. Thank you, MaryRuth, for sponsoring today's video. Now let's jump back in and see how those popovers turned out. Yeah, so they didn't work out. They are somewhat burnt. This one right here doesn't look too bad, but they're burnt. So definitely that temperature too high for my oven. Oh wow, look at this one. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to make another batch. So I'm gonna do this again, but this time I'm gonna try my oven at 400 degrees for 40 minutes. For this cream chicken recipe, it calls for 2 cups of cooked chicken. I just decided to grab a rotisserie chicken. So I'm gonna dice up some white meat and dark meat to get the 2 cups of chicken. To our pan, we're gonna melt 2 tablespoons of fat. So I'm gonna use butter, 2 tablespoons of flour, 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Okay, combine that. We're gonna get this all hot and bubbly. So I'm basically making a little roux here. Cook that flour out. Now I'm gonna add chicken stock and milk. So this is a cup of chicken stock. I'm gonna whisk this and blend this. Okay, so a cup of milk. And I'm just gonna cook this until it gets thick and smooth. You're gonna take 2 egg yolks and beat them. To our egg yolk, we're gonna add 1/4 cup of cream. Yum. Let's go add this creamy mixture in. This is nice, thick, good consistency. It's smooth. Okay, now I'm gonna add 2 cups of diced chicken. Plop. So now that we have our chicken in here, let's add this in. We're gonna cook this for 2 minutes. I'm gonna break down this chicken just a little. Right when you're ready to serve it, put 1/2 teaspoon of lemon juice in and 2 teaspoons of parsley. Then we're gonna serve this immediately after. And we're gonna have one of these over the hot popovers. Look how these popovers turned out. So much better. So for my oven, 400 degrees was perfect for 40 minutes. All right, let's get this cream chicken on our popover. You could have this over toast, which most people did. But this just makes it a little bit fancier. Oh yeah, yum. Cream chicken. It's so good on the popover. This popover is so light and flaky that this cream chicken is so good with it. But it would be really good on toast like they usually did during the Great Depression, and really good over a biscuit. But they did make popovers a lot. This is a keeper. Yum. The family is really gonna love this one. I can't stop eating it. This is so good. You gotta try it. I'm going to share with you a really yummy oatmeal applesauce muffin, and it has all the basic things that you already have in your pantry ready to go for you. So we're going to start on our topping first, and that's the streusel. So you'll need 1/2 cup of oats, 2 tablespoons of brown sugar, 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon, 2 tablespoons of butter, not softened, so cold. Okay, you're going to cut into it until it's nice and flaky. So now in this bowl, we're gonna add the dry ingredients together. So 1½ cups of quick cooking oats, or you can use regular oats. 1 1/4 cup of flour, 1/2 cup of firmly packed brown sugar, 1 teaspoon of baking powder, and 3/4 teaspoon of baking soda, 1 teaspoon of cinnamon, and 1/2 teaspoon of salt. Okay, we're gonna give these a good mix, and then we'll add in our wet ingredients. Then you're gonna add 1 cup of the applesauce, and then 1/2 cup of milk, 3 tablespoons oil, and 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla extract, and the egg. Stir it up. You could put these in a nice greased muffin tin, but I always use liners. I hate when muffins stick, and it's just easier to store away when they're in liners. All right, that is good and mixed. The recipe says that it can serve 18, and I have a huge 24 muffin tin. So we'll see how far I can go distributing out the mix and see if we get 18. We're gonna fill these about 3/4 full. Now we're gonna put a generous portion of the streusel topping right on top. We're gonna bake this in a 400-degree oven for 15 to 18 minutes. And these muffins are freezable, so you can make them, let them cool, freeze them up, and then when you would like one in the morning, all you have to do is just heat it through in the microwave, and you have a yummy muffin for breakfast. Next, we're gonna make a garden soup. It was interesting putting it together, but the end result is so good. We'll need 4 stalks of celery chopped. The recipe calls for 2 large onions chopped, but I'm going to do 1. 1 whole green pepper chopped, and 3 cloves of minced garlic. So in my pot, I'm gonna fry up the onions, the garlic, and the celery. And it says use 6 tablespoons of fat. I don't have like animal fat, you know, from like the Great Depression. I'm sure you could use butter. I don't know. I'm gonna do shortening. I don't know. This could be the wrong type of fat. It says 6 tablespoons. I'm not doing that. I'm gonna do 2. This part of the recipe I don't have much confidence on. So this is gonna do its thing. I'm gonna melt it down and let's fry up these veggies. All right, this recipe was printed up wrong. So I think I'm supposed to add the beef in now and it's supposed to get brown with the veggies because there's no way these veggies are gonna brown. They're just gonna saute. So I'm throwing in the 2 pounds of ground beef that it calls for. And we'll get this brown. This recipe calls for a teaspoon of salt. I'm putting it in now so that way it'll season the beef. Okay, I'm just gonna let this finish browning up. The recipe calls for 6 tomatoes, but I'm gonna start with 3 and then see how it looks. I should follow the recipe, right? Well, we'll see. But you're gonna need at least 6 tomatoes chopped up. So the recipe calls for cooked fresh green beans, but I'm just gonna use canned for this recipe for today. And I'm gonna drain these as well. We're gonna add the kidney beans in and the tomatoes. This recipe gets interesting and interesting. It says a tablespoon of honey and then a tablespoon of vinegar. So the directions on this recipe aren't very clear. This is interesting because it says don't let the bottom scorch, okay, but there's no liquid. But they're calling it a garden soup. But they said if it's scorching or getting too thick, to add some water. So is this not a soup? I am confused, you guys. I think they forgot to mention water or something. So I'm adding 2 cups of water. I'm wondering if there was a typo in there. I'm very confused because this is supposed to simmer for like an hour. How is that supposed to simmer when there's nothing in here? I'm gonna add 2 more cups of water and we'll let this simmer and we'll see how it tastes. This actually tastes so good. I was a little nervous, but something about that honey and vinegar, it just brings a zing to it. And we're gonna have it with a leftover popover. The family liked it. Derek says it's like missing something. He thinks maybe trying it next time with some crushed red peppers. I think that would actually be really good in this. Turned out good, even though I didn't have all the directions. It is different, but a keeper, I would say. If you make it, come back to this video and leave in the comments what you thought of it. And lastly, for dessert, we're going to make a very sweet and yummy sponge cake. I've never made a sponge cake before, so this will be fun. I'm gonna take 6 eggs and separate the whites from the yolk. We're gonna beat these egg whites until they're stiff. So I wanna see some stiff peaks. All right, these are stiff peaks. Perfect. To a saucepan, you're gonna add 1½ cups of sugar and 1/2 cup of water. You're gonna bring this to a boil, and the recipe says to boil it until it threads. And so I looked up what threading is, and it's basically putting some of the syrup on a spoon, and then if you're able to take your fingers and it threads, like it pulls, and it looks like a little thread, that's threading. Also, we're gonna put our candy thermometer in here, and if it gets to about 107 degrees Celsius or 224 degrees Fahrenheit, it's usually at that stage of threading. Okay, it is threading on me. So this is done. This is where I'm confused. The recipe says for me to take this hot sugar mixture and beat it with the egg whites until it's cold. What? Okay, I beat it until it was cold and it tastes really good, super sweet. And now beat yolks good until light and foamy. Okay. Now we're going to beat these together. You're gonna need a cup of flour, 1/4 teaspoon of salt, and 3/4 teaspoon of cream of tartar. Is she mixing that with the 1/4 teaspoon spoon? Yes, yes she is. Now I'm going to fold carefully into the egg mixture. The recipe says, and put into tins. So does this make 2? Does this make 1? It does not say. And it doesn't say anything about greasing it. Okay, I went online and it says that some recipes suggest buttering and flouring, or lining the bottom of the pan with parchment paper only. I'm gonna spray the pan. This is going in a 275 degree oven for 45 minutes, and then 300 degrees until nearly done. And then 5 minutes at 325 degrees. It's kind of complicated, the recipe says, but the results are good. Okay, sure. All right, let's do this. So it is a little overcooked. It was really confusing with the timings and the directions, but I just think it's the outer edges. I think we're gonna be fine. Okay, I did have a hard time getting it out of the pan. That was kind of a pain, but it is spongy and soft. So we're gonna top this with some strawberries. Okay, this, even though the edges were a little overcooked, the middle is perfect. So let's give this a taste. For my first time ever making a sponge cake, this is dang good. It's sweet, it's spongy like it should be. This is good. Even being just a little bit overcooked. And with strawberries, oh wait a minute, there's something else we need. I know they didn't have this convenience during the Great Depression. Yum. This is so good. Yum. Every single one of those recipes was delicious. Oh, don't forget to visit my description box where you can snag that link and my code to save 20% off MaryRuth's products. For more recipes from the Great Depression, check out this playlist here. And check out this playlist here from tips and tricks from the Great Depression that will help us out today. Thanks for watching. We'll see you soon. Bye.